What is up, Nerf hoarders? This is Alan from OC Nerf, and today I'm going to be going over all the thrifting things that I found in the month of June. I'm going to be doing this monthly thrifting instead of weekly or anything like that, not that I've particularly tried, but if you're looking for other thrifting videos that I have, check out the one that I did for the month of May. There's a couple of reasons why I don't do thrifting videos every week. One is, while I do go thrifting quite often and I do find a lot of good deals, and that's really not the reason why I don't have a lot of thrifted blasters. There's plenty in my area. However, I have a couple of problems. One is the space requirement. I live in an apartment that's roughly 1,100 square feet, and my Nerf collection is already taking up an entire wall of boxes and bins in my bedroom, plus my own closet and under the bed. So, running out of space. The second thing is, while I do find a lot of Nerf blasters in my area, I don't necessarily find the best deals in my area. Yesterday, for example, I saw a Target, a tech Target, those dartboards. I know Evan B's got like an entire row of them. I found one and I was thinking, you know what, this would be great. I wonder how much it is. Flip it over and it was $8 for one of those. Don't think so. Even Tech 6s around here, I will buy them if they're $2 or less, but if they are, which most of them are, over $2, sometimes $6, I won't get that. So I'm pretty aware of what the pricing would be, and so I just end up taking pictures of the blasters that I have, putting up on the Facebook group Nerf Thrifters. I'll have a link to that in the description below, and sometimes it's worth it to some people, sometimes it's not, and that's one of the reasons why I don't have everything that I find in the store. That being said, the things I do find, I hope you will find them interesting just as much as I did, or at least useful for modifications, which I love to do. So, that being said, let's get started with something I've never had before because I've passed it up, but I'm going to willingly give it a shot this time, and it is this, the Zerg Ball Blaster. So I grabbed the Zerg Ball Blaster, never had it, I've seen them in stores, don't have the ammunition for it. I'm kind of wondering if ping pong balls would work. Rotates, fires just fine. I will take this apart and take a look at what's inside. I'm really curious what I can do with this to repurpose it for elites, perhaps, or something else. But yeah, there we go. There's that. And I also picked up a couple of these. I don't remember how much I got these for, probably $2 together. They were zip tied together, and they are the like predecessor to Tech 4s. They work just fine. I've got some darts here. Don't even know which one rotates and fires. Let's assume it's the top one. It is. That goes pretty far for the size of this room and how good these are. Picked up an Avengers Maverick style blaster. The aesthetics are a little bit different than your typical Maverick. They're themed for the Avengers film, very Captain America with the stars and stripes, and it does not have the drop cylinder that a Maverick would. I don't even know how this works. There we go. So let's give this a quick test fire. Look at that. It won't work with elites. Go figure, guys. Thanks. Is this Hasbro? Hasbro. So Hasbro made a look-alike Maverick blaster that won't work for elites. Well, let's see how it fires anyway. Let's do that. See if I can chamber it funny. That's terrible. Okay. This won't be terrible. I could probably pick up that dart. It went about a whole foot. Nerf Triad with the white and blue version. Nice. And I picked up a reactor with a ball in it. I think I had two, but my kids found this, and I don't know where the other one is anymore. There that goes. And I like picking up these single shot pistols. This is the, I keep forgetting the name of this one. Element? I want to say it's the Element. I'm pretty sure it's the Element. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I'm pretty sure this is the Element. I love these. Like I said, looks like I got a dart stuck in there. Speaking of single shots, a night finder. I pick up quite a bit of night finders. I've mentioned this before, but this is, for whatever reason, my son's favorite blaster. Probably because it's one that he can actually use, pull back and prime. Another reason is probably because it's yellow. He loves Curious George, among other things, and the man in the yellow hat. I guess he's got an affinity for yellow because of that show. But I like picking these up for myself and as much for him. So, nice for little pistol rounds. This was kind of cool and somewhat of a disappointment at the same time, and it's a hammer shot. And I say that, and I've got some random darts in here. Busby dart. And whatever this red dart is, I really wonder if this will fit in this, because this feels short. You know what? That's short. 2 feet. Anyway, back to the hammer shot. The reason why I say it's kind of a cool find, but kind of disappointing at the same time, and that's because it was likely left with its, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. It was likely left with its hammer primed for quite some time because it doesn't go very far. 7 feet. So that's kind of disappointing. I'll probably need to find a new spring for this, definitely. And so, not terrible. It's a hammer shot. It works. But that spring is terrible. Excuse my allergies today. So, another one is another night finder. Yep, the light still works on this one. Like I said, I pick up a lot of night finders. Again, they're small, and I like using them. This one still has its batteries in it, just like the last one. I'll try it with a Busby dart, because that's what I got right now. Cool. Just fine. Let's see. What else have I got here? Yes. My Stryfe collection grows. I pick up not one with a 6 clip. 2, the 6 clip I played with already, but it came with a 6 clip. But 3 of the OJ's Stryfes. Picked all 3 of these up at Goodwill. I go to Goodwill, Savers. There is a couple other locally owned thrift stores around here, and I've seen like a Maverick in there. Pretty good prices though when they are in those thrift stores, but it's not very often that they'll have something. Interestingly enough, all 3 of these Stryfes I picked up from Goodwills that I normally don't go to because they usually don't have anything. And lo and behold, one had 2 and the other had 1. It was great. And the one that had the 1, I got it for less than $3. So that's pretty good for a Stryfe. The bag that I put it in, which is a little Star Wars bag, in case you were curious. Okay, alright. I love picking these up as well, which is the Mega. Yep, it's got a dart chambered in there. Just the one. Mega Magnus. Alright. I love these blasters. They remind me of, especially if they have the clip coming out, they remind me of the, what is that called? It's from Judge Dredd. It's his Lawbringer? I don't remember, but it's his gun, which is really awesome looking. Every time I've seen these, and it's probably why I like them so much, I keep thinking of that Judge Dredd gun. I don't know why I can't think of that name right now. Alright. This is also interesting. I found this in the store. Found this on one of the Rebel bows. Took it off, put it on here, bought it together. I do that quite a bit, by the way. I picked it up for $1.99. So it's $1.99 for a Proton and 5 dart holder. Obviously, you wouldn't use darts on a vortex blaster, but the cashier didn't know any different. It just all kind of looks together. I think I have a vortex disc somewhere down there. Got my, there they are. Alright. Got my Dickies cup, big yellow cup of darts and things. Let's see if this works. Well, that doesn't work. That bodes well, guys, when that function doesn't work. I like that too. But will it fire? Alright, it'll at least fire. The return isn't working, but at least it'll fire. And I don't have the white version of these. I've got the green one, but I don't have the white one. So that's kind of cool. Surprise, surprise, another night finder. There was a thrift store I went to that had a bunch of night finders, and a couple of them were less than $2, and those are the ones I picked up. The others were over, and I was thinking, not really gonna pay attention. Oh, that was kind of cool. Might be the strongest in thrift store night finder I've ever found, which is not a bad deal. Next one is not necessarily a thrift store blaster, but I did get it from an unlikely place, and I got it for a good bargain, which was the 99-cent store. I may have already mentioned this before somewhere else, but I got this at the 99-cent store. It was new in box for like $3.99 at the 99-cent store. Came with everything. Light works, obviously, because it was all new in box, and these are the batteries I put in it. Works just fine. It is your Rebel version of the Strong Arm with a much sleeker and easier to load blaster. Now we're getting to some of the other stuff. Let's see here. Okay, I've already taken this apart, but this is the Exploders X2 Invaders 700. And I did a video on this, and I'll put the link to the video over here, where I take this apart, and I put this spring, which is a rather beefy spring, into my, I didn't thrift this month, but into my Avengers Big Bad Bow here. This is what I'm thinking of doing, by the way, is putting little couplers or something here to kind of hold other barrels. I've got one loaded in there right now. And I've also got a video of how I modded this, minified it, and put the X2 spring in there, and put in the coupler system. Absolutely am in love with the performance of the Big Bad Bow. I'm still working on the barrel lengths for this. Not an exact science, guys. It just kind of takes some trying and getting used to. So right now I think I've got a coupler system with a 7-inch barrel inside there, maybe 6. So I'm still working, like I said, on that. But I love this. I would love to pick up another one because I picked up 2 more Exploders X2s. I believe this is the 700, and I don't know which version this is, but it feels newer. These are interesting in that they are actually rather different. They're a pullback mechanism to fire. I've got the hoppers on both of them. Picked them up for like $2 or $3. And this one kind of has a dart flap very similar to Nerf, which is interesting. I don't know if you can see that here. There's that dart flap that kind of opens as I pull it. When I pull it all the way to the edge, it opens. This one has a different pullback mechanism, slightly different aesthetics, but has this kind of tri-door feature, and it doesn't open until I fire it, and then it kind of opens it. And also, the other one has a small barrel that fits the little pellets that these come with, just enough to shoot out of the barrel. This one does not. It has, if you can see it, a little pusher that's air fit into the larger barrel here, so I'm assuming that what it does is that actually works as the thing that the air pressure here actually pushes out, and the pellets here just load out of there and get shot through it. So it's kind of cool. Never really fired one of these with their actual rounds, but I will be taking these apart, especially as soon as I find a couple more Big Bad Bows. That'll be cool. Alright, working through the larger stuff now. This is a swarm fire. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a swarm fire. It had batteries in it, but the batteries were Toys R Us brand batteries, so it might have been the ones it came with. I picked up a second one of these with a stock, and this one did have batteries as well, and it most certainly worked. Let me check the performance on it. Never had one of these, so I don't know where it's going to fire from, but let's just hope one of these will work. No. I may have just put it in the last place it could have ever been. There it goes. Okay, so I know this works, and I know that one didn't work, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick battery swap here, just so that I can test if this other one worked. Energizer batteries, huh? Yeah, I found both of these at the same thrift store. I picked this one up for myself. I posted that I found one, and Brady was saying, "Oh yeah, I would love to find another one of those." He had just picked up the Rebel version of the pistol, one of these. Gosh, I can't think of the name of it. But I'll link to his channel also below, and this one is actually going to be going to him. So let's hope it works. Here we go. Yeah, man, it totally works. Totally works, and we're going to go ahead and try it with a dart. I think I know where to put it this time. Hopefully this time. There it goes. Yeah, about the same performance, so that's pretty cool. These might have come from the same owners. So Brady, that one's going to get shipped out to you sometime this week. And I will not be shipping it with the batteries, as that is pretty darn heavy with those 6C batteries in there. I'll just put this away for right now. And this one I've kind of been looking for as well, just because I really like the electronic plunger tube batteries. Excuse me here for a second. All right. So next on the list, we have a sledge fire. Totally works. And where? There it is. Okay, so it came with one of these shells, the three dart shells. Good shot. But I also found on Thingiverse, somebody had already made a 3-dart shell and has gotten rid of the flaw, the design flaw of the holes. I don't know if you can see that there. The holes in the shell has gotten rid of that. And also has a little bit of a tighter fit down at the bottom. So that's kind of cool. Somebody did all that work for me. And it functions better than the stock shells once you clean it up. It's kind of funky actually. But yeah, I'm also thinking about doing other kind of designs for this. One that might shoot megas, better fit for these, for elite darts, and a couple of other things I kind of want to do with the shotgun system that this comes with. And it fits in there just handy dandy. They both do. I really like this blaster just for what it can do in its aesthetics. Definitely a good last resort. Here we go. I'm going to shoot somebody right in front of me kind of blaster. Here's one that I haven't had before. Picked it up for more than I probably would have, but there was a sale that day. And I don't have the I think that this came with. So this is the Busby Ultimate Missile Blast. I think it goes into other blasters because I can see like a mechanism here, and also this door right here makes me think that it connects with other blasters. Never really got into Busby until last year, to be honest with you, because most of their performance has been very, very subpar with the exception of a few gems like this one. This next one isn't exactly a blaster, and I did find it some time ago, but I forgot to put it in a video, so I'm putting it in there now, which is a complete Vendetta sword. I found one of these. So I was in the thrift store, I found one of these just kind of sitting in the back of the shelf, and I was thinking, oh man, that'd be so cool if I found the other one. So I went in the store, I looked all around it, and this is a lesson in persistence. I didn't find it in the toy aisle. I looked all over. I looked in the bins where they sometimes have toys that other kids have played with all over the store, and we'll kind of put it on a little bin or truck or whatever and wheel it back to where it's supposed to be along with other merchandise. It wasn't in there. I looked at the sports section, it wasn't in there. I looked in the bin where they have a bunch of like golf clubs and crutches and everything, because sometimes they'll just stick something long inside those little containers at the Goodwill. I didn't find it there, and I was just looking all over the store, and I was thinking, you know what, I guess I'm just going to pick up the half, or maybe not. If I can't find the other one, I don't know how worth it would be. And I was there with my kids, and my daughter, you know, I was saying, hey, it's time to go, it's time to go, and we were in the electronics aisle, and she was just kind of like, no, no, and she kind of fell to the floor and was kind of throwing her little fit. And as I was bending over to pick her up, I look, and out from under the rack, I see the tip of this, just kind of sticking out like this. And I'm thinking, no way. And so I look under there, and sure enough, I see in the dark shadow the rest of this, and I pull it out, and lo and behold, it was the other half of a complete Vendetta sword, which is pretty awesome. I never had one. Actually, I don't have any foam melee weapons for Nerf, so it's kind of my first and kind of cool. I'll definitely be holding on to it. Maybe I'll do something with it in the future, but it's kind of cool to have. Let's see. This one I'm Frankenstein together. I found a Spectre complete stock blaster, and its barrel attachment broken, the blaster anyway, and I don't really care for it anyhow, but I love these, so I picked this up and I put it onto a Recon. And of course this came with a Recon, and then this was kind of just sitting out there. This 35 round drum was kind of just sitting out there, so I thought, you know, I'm going to put it all together. It definitely works. I'm going to put it all together, and we'll see what the cashier says, because there's only one price tag on the entire thing, and that was on the main blaster itself. Sometimes they sell these individually, but I guess there weren't that day. And she just gave it to me for $5.99. All of this. Right, I only put 2 in there. So that was kind of cool. Definitely enjoyed having another Spectre barrel and a drum. Now we come to the last 2 things we've got on here. Alright. And these are kind of special in their uniqueness and in their rarity. The first one is Starscream. I grew up to watching Transformers and playing with a lot of Nerf guns. So I definitely enjoy this. But it wasn't in the best condition. The wing's kind of a little bit wobbly. Somebody's kind of scribbled all over it. Kind of like the Vantage Sword, you know, definitely been played with, which is cool because I think toys should definitely be played with. I remember watching that Toy Story 3 or 2? Toy Story 2, the one where Woody becomes part of a museum group of other dolls and toys is in his line. And it was definitely in that, it's cool to kind of have it there for posterity's sake, but at the same time, you should play with toys. So this is a very well played with toy. It's missing one of its fins up here, but when I first picked it up, I was thinking, man, it's not in the best condition, it's really dirty, and it didn't seem to work, but all I need to do was give it a little bit more force. Pop it down, and this was kind of stuck for a while. I was kind of playing with it, and I guess I just didn't have it locked down all the way, so I kind of went back for this blaster, pulled it back, and it definitely fires. The old school Megas, which I don't have any, I've got only the new school Megas, so I can't test if this works completely or how far it works. But yeah, it seems pretty cool. Punch in the face with blasters punch. So that's kind of cool. I would love to find one of these in better condition. As it is, I passed this up originally, and I went back for it for Brando, who is going to be picking this up next time he's around my area. So I'm going to link to his channel also below. But this is going to be kind of kicking it at my place until he comes on by and I give this over to him. So he'll be kind of chilling with me. It's okay. I'll be sure to take good care of him. I might get a little anal and clean him up a little bit, just because I'm thinking, you know what, I just can't stand how dirty it looks. But it's a well played with blaster. And this last one, I thought I saw it before. It felt very familiar, and I had passed it up because I wasn't quite sure if I really wanted it based on its performance in store, and part of that was my lack of knowledge of how it actually functioned, just kind of a guesstimation of how it worked. And it was in the ballpark, but not quite there. And it is the XL Bazooka. And the way this works is kind of much like an Ultimator. In fact, I think this is like the successor to the Ultimator. It's got this, so you can kind of put it up here with the rockets, or you put it up here to shoulder it. And it works in a way where you crank this lever over and over, and it keeps pulling back an extension spring, and once it gets to the end, you can then pull the trigger and it'll launch out these giant rockets. I kind of figured that's what it would do. I primed it once in the store and I was like, whatever. So I did it a few more times thinking maybe I should do it a few. And I wasn't getting that much more performance out of it. So I posted on the Nerf Thrifters group to see what people thought about this one. And they definitely said, yeah, get it. You got to prime it at least 15 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I'll do a few more for good measure. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And here we go. There's definitely something that's not quite catching with it in training. Did you hear that?